Mateys! Welcome to the 23rd episode of Wizard Weekly, where we be celebrating Talk Like a Pirate Day a wee bit early and bringing you news and humor from the murkiest depths of the spiral. It's been still waters recently, but if you haven't voted in the Game Developers Choice Online Awards yet, you'd best weigh anchor and vote for your favorite wizarding world before voting closes on Thursday, the 22nd of September, at a minute to midnight. If you're not sure that Wizard 101 is deserving of your vote because you just joined or you haven't been able to plunder enough booty yet, now's your chance. King's Eye will be having a sale where you can join Wizard 101 as a subscriber for half off your first month. That's right, $5 you can join up as a subscriber and decide if it's your cup of tea. Okay, that's enough pirate punishment for today. While we're on the topic of punishment though, I managed to sneak into a player-hosted 4v4 called the More the Monier mid-level Mayhem, and boy oh boy, I was not disappointed. Luck Be a Lady and Fresher Than Airwick were going toe-to-toe in the battle arena. Luck Be a Lady had Fresher Than Airwick on the run with several scalds right out of the gate, and with a humonga frog hurling hats all over them, it looked like Fresher Than Airwick was washed out. But Iridian Ravenhunter wasn't going to have it. Even with a heckhound pointed in her direction, she managed to get her team back on their feet with a unicorn, and her team was able to bury Luck Be a Lady under several brutal blizzards. Just when it looked like they were snowed in, Julia Sparkleleaf managed to shovel out and deliver a heal to her hurting teammates, allowing them to retaliate with another humongo harassment and more scalds. Even their pets were getting in on the action, with more sprightlies than I've ever seen in my life. It wasn't quite enough though for Luck Be a Lady, and a meteor and a blizzard combo had them doing their best bobblehead impressions. Julia managed to hang in there and tried to heal herself and her team, but Fresher Than Airwick kept her locked down with infections, and one turn later her goose was finally cooked. Congratulations to Fresher Than Airwick, who will be advancing to the next round. The Topsy Turvy Tourny has been speeding along at super speeds. Aaron Legendblade fought his way through the end of the second qualifier and will be headed to the finals with either Noob or Arc Warrior, who will be battling out for the last spot in the first qualifier. The third qualifier is a wee bit behind, and Celtics is left to wait to see whom they will be fighting for the last spot. Things are speeding towards an end though, so make sure to keep an eye on that roster. This week in Better Homes and Gardens, we will tour the secluded island home of Angel, who has transformed this lush lump of jungle into an island resort. As soon as you teleport in from the mainland, you're greeted by his King Parsley, who will gladly serve you up a drink that you can enjoy at the bar or down on the beach tucked away under the shade of an umbrella. If you want to strike out on an adventure of your own, you should head up to the stables, where he rents out ponies that you can ride up and down the shore. After a long day, you can have a cookout at a secluded boardwalk barbecue, nestled in the shadow of his enormous treehouse. You can relax in his spring-fed jacuzzi before you head on up to dry off in front of a warm, crackling fire, which is sure to take the nip right out of the night air. You can gaze out over the island from the scenic bedroom floor before you turn in for the night. Or you can head up to the aviary, which is usually full of birds of paradise, except a certain life scarab scared them all off. Oh, don't sound so proud of yourself, jeez. At the top of this treehouse is an observatory where you can look out over the lush foliage of the forest below and catch a glimpse of the Master Observatory, where you can literally see forever. To book one of these marvelous rooms for the night or just for a weekend, head on into Angel's reception room, where your needs will be attended to by his mannequin staff. You can relax around the fire in this tropical lobby, or just enjoy the local flora which have been tamed back into trumpeting topiaries. If you've got a hankering for the local cuisine, you can head on down to the small island restaurant, which is open for lunch and dinner only, but serves up cool island beverages all day long. You can grab one and head next door to his library to enjoy a good book, but be careful which one you pick, as grabbing the wrong one may bring a misadventure to life. Which one was it? Aha! If you can duck his built-in security system, you'll be able to make it to the Spiral Cup, wrested from the hands of a Pigswick Academy just recently by Angel in the Spiral Cup tournament. That's not the real treasure, though. Head through the door and you discover the Fountain of Youth, as well as the beginnings of a secret spiral staircase to Angel's hidden-away haven. Miles above the... One second. Whew. Okay. Miles above the ground is Angel's heavenly chapel, where he hosts weddings and all sorts of ceremonies to celebrate special occasions. If I had to be shipwrecked anywhere, I would want it to be here. Angel's phenomenal use of glitching to expand his island and create secluded retreats really makes his resort a hidden treasure. Speaking of treasures, it's that time again. In our Letters from the Spiral segment this week, we've got some interesting questions about our little treasures, our pets. So, we'll start with one from Wolf Shadow Haven, who asks, will King's Isle ever allow us to once again buy and sell pets at the bazaar? That's a hard call there, Wolf. They took pets out of the bazaar before the pet patch was even implemented because they were becoming less and less special, less unique. Tons of people were wearing out their decks trying to farm for this pet or that pet, and then they'd return to Wizard City just to find out that, so-and-so had managed to buy the pet they were just fighting for at the bazaar. Now that our pets actually act as another piece of gear, they're worth a whole lot more, both sentimentally and value-wise. I guess there's even a few pets out there that they have pedigrees of 80 or 90 now, and not that their owners would want to get rid of them, but they wouldn't be fairly reimbursed for all the gold and time and crowns they put into hatching and leveling if they were to post these in the bazaar. I'm also pretty sure that pet hunters out there wouldn't be able to afford it because a pet of that caliber would be insanely expensive. That pet would be sitting on a shelf in the bazaar for all eternity now, waiting for a loving owner, and while it sounds kind of dramatic, it's the truth. It wouldn't be alone, though. There'd be dozens and dozens of other pets in there, perhaps even hundreds, and that brings up another issue, because all pets differ that itty-bitty amount, and therefore they'd have to be individually listed, and all of a sudden you have something like 100 pages of individually listed pet dragons. It would make searching for the more evolved pets a real hassle. I'm sure there's other reasons too, but I think those two are the primary reasons we won't be seeing pets in the bazaar ever again. Our second question today is a rather long one from Azor's dog, who says, on a recent thread, someone suggested that King's Isle have a fortune teller in the pet pavilion that, for a reasonable amount of crowns, would reveal your pet's talents before they're manifested. What do you think of this idea? I would love to see a feature like that. I would just adore it because I cannot tell you how many times I've leveled pets and gotten little more than selfish talents. And I think the fact that you kept it crowns only would be a good idea too, so not too many will abuse this feature because they'll be spending real money on it. However, I don't know if we should be able to see all the talents on a pet in question. It would become something of a necessity in the pet craze community, and it would give some wizards an unfair advantage over those who didn't have crowns. This, while not game-breaking, is just more stinky than not, so perhaps instead of being able to see all of our pet talents, we'd be able to choose a few we'd like to have revealed, and a wizard could decide if the cost was worth it or not. I don't think having a few revealed at random would be a good idea, though. Yeah, it's a possibility. It's too much of a gamble, and for all we know, the random selection could just pick common talents or derby talents, and This is a great idea, though, and I'd love to see it implemented in one way or another. It would be too cool. When do you think the new world will be released, and what do you think it'll be? I get this question a lot, and I'm sorry I didn't answer it as promptly as I could have, but I really don't like answering your guys' questions unless I have some information to back the answer with. I didn't have much to go on other than the fact that King's Isle reps have stated once or twice that they want to release around one full world a year. And, we got Celestia around September last year, if I remember correctly, so going on the information, the only answer I could have given you was soon, and that's not much of an answer. In last month's producer letter, Professor Falmeas said something that really made me think. While it is delicious and worth the wait, there are a lot of steps that have to be followed to make it right. And, then she goes on with a recipe that has you drooling all over your keyboard, and I've never heard someone make a game sound so delicious, but that's besides the point. That one line suggests to me that we may be waiting a little longer for this release than we have in years past because they want to get it just right. Personally, I'm glad they're taking that extra time, if, that is in fact the case, to perfect our pasta before serving it to us. As to what the new world might be, that's another thing I wanted to sit down and really ponder. In the recently released World of Wisteria, they hinted at two new worlds, Mirage and I think the other's called Wildwood or something to that effect, but we learned a little more about Wildwood through its representative character than we did about Mirage. And the thing is, I can't help but notice that there are more NPCs from Mirage than Wildwood. This may just be me reading too deep in there, but why not staff the Pigswick shops with pigs instead of rabbit folk? It seems kind of weird that King's Isle would create a set of NPCs with voices and personalities just to act as vendors, so if I absolutely had to take a guess, I would say the new world, it could be Mirage. I'm not sure how King's Isle would tie this into the current storyline, though, and, it's more than a possibility that they could come out with a world we haven't even heard of yet like they did with Celestia. Alrighty, I have a question for you guys this week. We're coming up on episode 25 of Wizard Weekly, and I'd like to do a little something special because we've made it a quarter of the way to 100. I've posted a poll above this video on Wizard Central page, and I'd like your feedback. If you're following us exclusively on YouTube, please leave a comment in the video comments below letting us know which of the options you'd like to see. Here they are. 1. Would you like to see a making of video of Wizard Weekly as a bonus video after the release of the 25th episode? Option 2. Would you like me to replace the questions in Letters from the Spiral segment with questions and answers you have about Wizard Weekly? Or 3. Even though I ran around it in the beta, I keep getting asked to display my home and Better's homes and gardens. Do you want to see that? Alright, you scurvy dogs, that be it for this week's Wizard Weekly. Thank ya for watching, and don't forget to vote for Wizard 1 in the Game Developer's Choice Online Awards, or I'll make you walk the plank! Somehow. Arrrrrr. You best way anchor and vote for your favorite wizarding world because $5 you can join up as a subscriber and just I can't do this on the street.